Hello, hello, hello. Welcome everyone to Tata Steel Chess 2022. This is Sagar Shah and I'm inviting you for a day filled with chess analysis, fun and lot of excitement in the round 6 of the Tata Steel Masters and Challengers. Today is a round of lot of things that are happening and we are going to go through all the games, but firstly let's have a look at the standings that are there right now. We have Shakhriyar Mamedyarov at the top with 3.5 out of 5. We have Vidit and Rapport also in the lead. Esipenko is on 3, Magnus on 3, and then Duda, Caruana and Jorden are on 2.5. Anish, Praggnanandhaa, Karjakin, Shankland, Dubo are on 2 and Nils is on 1. So this is going to be very exciting. In this round, Vidit is up against Duda and Praggnanandhaa against Shankland. We're going to see also the other games which are very, very interesting and exciting. We also have Arjun Erigaisi, who's in the lead with 4.5 out of 5. And Guen Thaidan 1 is on 3.5, along with Jumabayev and Surya Ganguly. Surya Ganguly versus Arjun is the game that is taking place today, so that will also be exciting to follow. So let's get rolling and let's start with the game of Vidit here. He is playing with the white pieces against Duda. Over here is the live board that you can see already. So just in case you are you want the live board, then this is already here. Okay, so let's get it rolling in the game. With it, this time opened with 1d4. If you remember, he had opened with 1e4 against Esipenko, but he gets back to his normal move. Knight to f6, c4, e6, knight f3, d5. It's the queen's gambit declined. c5, knight c3, c5, cd, knight d5. What is the name of this opening, guys? What is the name of this opening? VD, time to take revenge of the World Cup, says Hiren Patel. Yeah. Shashwat Parida says, Sagar, by one doubt, how is Hari in the Grand Prix? His name is not in 24 players pool. Yes, Wei he pulled out at the last moment, and so Hari was the replacement for Wei. Yeah, it's called the semi Tarash, not just the Tarash, but it's semi Tarash, because if he had taken back with the pawn, it's called Tarash. And if you take with the knight, this is semi Adha Tarash. So e4 by Vidit, knight takes c3, b takes c3, and if you remember, this was the same opening that was also played in the game CD in one more game in this tournament of Duda. Very interestingly, he played this. Do you remember against whom he played? No, the game is still going on, guys. So queen d2 was taken, and now you will see that white has more space in the position, but black is solid. He had played against Pragg. Sam, you are right. Pragg, he had played the same opening against Praggnanandhaa as well. And remember, I had shown you one very famous game, which was between Lev Polugaevsky versus Mikhail Tal in this opening. So you put your bishop on c4, correct? Then you play knight d7. Saurav, Tarash is the name of a chess player. Siegbert Tarash. He was the first one who played this, and that is how the name has come out. Usually, chess openings are named after either a place like Catalan, which means somewhere close to that Spanish region of Catalan, or Budapest, London system, Vienna. These are names of places, or players like here Tarash. There is also Rubinstein systems and so on. So castles, b6, rook a d1, bishop b7 and rook fe1. So white has managed to develop all his pieces many times. For our level, for many of the beginners who are playing these positions, your preparation ends here. But for players like Duda and Vidit, their preparation, actually real preparation, begins from here, which is after these many moves, because this is all very well known, so they would know it. But now what they have to do is see as to how many times this position has been played and what are the things that are there. So by the way, let me just make sure that I have this one here. Okay. So in this position, if sorry guys, I think I'm back. There was a lag, but very sorry about that. So rook f e1, and I was trying to talk to you about this position. It has been played for 655 times already. Okay, so moving on, in this position after rook f e1, rook c8 was played. Now he's attacking the bishop. So Vidit played his bishop back to b3. Let me just check here as well. In this position, actually another move which is possible is bishop d3, although bishop b3 is the main move here. Bishop b3, rook e8, and now came the move h3, again the main move in this position, and you will see that this has been played by Mamedyarov, Nihal, Gukesh, Aronian. Many top players have played it. Okay, so h3, knight f6 was played. Now he's attacking this pawn. Again, this position has been seen several times. Queen c7 15 times has been played, and the top players who have played it as black are Grishchuk, Dominguez has played it 3 times already. Okay, so with it now played his knight to e5. Now you might think, oh, Duda has come all prepared and all, but guys, this is natural, right? Already if a game has happened at this level, he would come prepared. Now rook e7. It's a very surprising move, rook e7, as to why someone would play that. But I guess, can anyone tell me why did he play rook e7? Let's see in the chat. Now we'll see all the games, guys. I'll go one by one, and we'll try to look at all of them. Uh, yes, but let's try to think of a very concrete reason why he played rook e7. Yes, Himanshu Sethi, you are right. Anand Nerkar, very good. Yes, Chirag KP, very good. To protect f7, but also very specifically because he wants to go knight d7, and here f7 would hang. So he decided to play first rook e7. Now knight d7 is a threat. So with it played queen h4. We are still following the game Aronian Grishchuk. Aronian Grishchuk happened in online Lichess, and Andrekin Dominguez also happened in Blitz in Mind Games in China. So it hasn't been played in a classical game yet. b5 is the first new move of the game. So until now, b5 had never been played. So going back now here and trying to check the game from b5 onwards, this is the first new move of the position. Rook d3. Vidit is now trying to switch his rook here. If you see, Duda had 143, was completely prepared. Vidit had 1 hour 10 minutes. He had already used up 30 minutes of his time. a5, rook g3. Now is a massive threat. If you play a4, why is this a bad move? This is my first question of today. Let's see how many of you can answer it. Yes, Savita Chess, I saw your game. I was going to respond to it. I have it with me about the imbalances. And yeah, I thought I will write back to you, but maybe yeah, I'll write back. Yes, absolutely right. And let's have a look at how many people could get it right. Fantastic job. Just a second, let me get the board here so that you can also see it together while thinking. The move is queen takes f6, and you are absolutely right. It is Dhanai Doshi, Prithvi GS, Amin Mohammed, Mohit Kumar Jha, Aiden, Priyan Soni, Anand Narayanan, Sparsh LR, and Avani Krishna. Well done, all of you. Okay, so here queen f6 is hanging, so he had to take care of that. So he took the pawn. Now when he took the pawn, Vidit said, I'm taking back. Bishop takes, queen takes, and you have two pieces for a rook and one pawn. But after a4, it so happens that the bishop is running out of squares. So bishop d1 was played, and now a very natural idea could be to go queen c1, but then he can just defend it back with queen f3, and white is doing well. So Duda here, clearly very well prepared, still plays f6. Now imagine if you are in Vidit Gujrathi's shoes and you are thinking कि भाई आज Duda है मेरा opponent, I have to beat him. At the same time, after 24 moves, he has 1 hour 44 minutes. He has 4 minutes more than what he started off. You are going to get so tensed, right? And you are facing like a computer because this guy is playing all the best moves. So you think to yourself and you play knight d3 and you try to protect the c1 square. And I think this happens very regularly with Duda. Even if you remember the World Cup game where Vidit had lost, he was very well prepared, and this is what Duda is very good at. So it could be a good idea to play some offbeat openings with him where he cannot prepare so well. But again, Duda is very strong when it comes to just offbeat chess. So all in all, he's strong in all aspects of chess. Queen d6, and now Vidit put his knight on c5. And I think over here, Vidit decided to simplify the game. Maybe he could have decided to continue with queen h4. But what his problem is that after, let's say, rook c3, black pieces are coordinating much better, while white pieces are not yet in action. But he could have done it like rook e3 with the idea of bishop g4. Maybe this is a weakness. He could have slowly put pressure there. But when he played knight c5, he took d takes c5. Here could be possible, but first he gave a check. Now notice no piece can go back. So king f7, and now with it took queen d1, king h2, and this is the position which we have reached. One more move has been played, queen to d4, attacking c5, attacking f2. And if you look at it, white is a pawn down here. Vidit is a pawn down, but he pushes his pawn forward and he is hoping that he can queen this pawn. It's not easy because the rook controls, but at the same time, this king is slightly weak. So for example, Vidit could have thought of playing queen h8 here. And there's only one good move in this position, like one good move for black. Can you find it? Black to play. Janak Rajpurohit said after c6, if he takes on f2, it's a blunder. Also, I just wanted to check time. Duda took, after Vidit played knight c5, in order to take on c5, it took 16 minutes. So there he was already out of his prep. So my question was queen h8. No, not g6 guys. g6 खेला तो ये मर जाएगा. So that is a bad move. Yes, f5. Beautiful, beautiful guys. Well done. f5 is the move, and the right move has been given by Dhanai, Techno, Sachin, Nimmi, LR, Archit, Khyati, Nilay, Sabarna, and Dev. Brilliant. So f5 is the right move. You cannot your queen will actually go and defend this pawn here with f5. And then, okay, you can take here b4. I want to queen, maybe c6, b3. Okay, b3, maybe you lose this pawn, but let's say something else, rook c7. And the position, even though white looks like having some attacking chances, black is doing okay. You know, he has this majority here. Vidit cannot take this pawn and go into this endgame, because then he would be lost in the pawn endgame if he takes, because h4, b3, this pawn is queening faster. So that's the reason why Vidit has pushed his pawn to c6. Now, once he's pushed his pawn to c6, one of the questions that was mentioned is, can he play this? Now you know exactly why this is a mistake, correct? Because let's see, why is this wrong? Yes, Janak, I get it. f2 is a mistake. Isn't this with its revenge match? Yes, you are right, Mayur. GK26294 says repeatedly reusing plastic bottles can be harmful, may leach into water, etc. Use glass metal. Yeah, GK, the main issue is that we use metal bottles only, but right now, because we both are not well, we have ordered a few bottles at home of water, so we don't have to fill it up and so on. So that is the only reason why you will see, if you go to previous streams, we've been using steel bottles. Yes, absolutely right. Again, you guys are right on the ball. Queen h8, Mohit Kumar Jha, Crazy Content, Abhiraj Ratna, Abhimanyu Singla, Techno World of Spidey, Archit Kesharwani, Saravanan P, Satvik Dhanay Doshi, and Arin Salian. Well done, guys. So Queen h8 is just very powerful and there is no way to save it. So Duda cannot really take this pawn here. That's the reason why Duda is actually thinking quite a lot after this. He's down to 1 hour 20 minutes, but Vidit has only 24 minutes. But also you see 30 moves have been completed. So I'm just trying to wonder what Duda will play here as a move. Because b4 matlab he will lose a4. Also, queen cannot really move because you have to keep this protected. Can you start with f5? Yeah, this looks like a possibility. This definitely looks like a possibility in the position. The other move that could be possible is rook c7. But rook c7, queen b8, queen e5. I'm just trying to get a sense of whether it's easy for Duda to defend or not. Maybe not, yeah, like p4 now. Also, it might not be easy for Vidit to play. So it will depend on the like how much hungry both the players are for victory. But I get a feeling that it is equal, but it's not a drawn position yet. Okay, so we'll keep an eye on this. Let's go to Magnus Carlsen versus Richard Rapport game, because this is a very nice game. Only 11 moves have been played, and this shows on one hand in Vidit's game 30 moves have been played, while here only 11 moves. So this game will become very, very tense as we go on. But just to show you why they have taken so much time, like almost 2 hours and only 11 moves. So let's have a look. d4, sorry, knight f3, d5, d4, knight f6, c4, e6, g3. So this is known as, what's the name of this opening? Yes, it is Catalan. Correct. Kushagra Chawla, Sanjay Kashyap, Kartik Narula, Kritik Gujran, Tizia Kumar. It is Catalan. So here he played the Catalan. D takes c4. Magnus played bishop g2. Knight c6. Richard goes always for the most double-edged lines. Rook b8. And now, guys, here they go. This is what is very beautiful, okay? We reach here, rook b8. This is all Magnus's World Championship preparation. Okay? Oops, not this. Chess base 16. Okay. Rook b8. And in this position, you will see 1540 games have been played. Knight c3 has been played 653 times. E3 has been played 350 times. A4 has been played 335 times. The move that Magnus played bishop e3 has been played only 7 times. 7 times only, and it has been played only by a few players. One of them is a grandmaster, Kozuls Denko, Velten, Yannick and Mulyar. All of them I think are IMs. And this is Magnus's World Championship prep. Bishop d6 was played. So already we are going into a new territory here. So let's just go back to the board and see how much time did Richard take. So at this point, Richard had 134, Magnus had 139. Magnus played this instantly, and Richard took 15 minutes to play bishop d6. Yes, Arnav, it's actually looking very bad, this move. It looks quite silly also to put the bishop here. But it's just a new idea. You know, it's not even like this might be a very sensible move or anything of that sort. It's just a new idea. And then Magnus plays queen c1. And this was played after 23 minutes. So I don't know what Magnus, maybe the main line would be after b5. A4, and all this would be his preparation, you know. यहाँ पे क्या खेल रहा है? So when Richard played bishop d6, queen c1, b5, now Magnus played b3, and notice you cannot take this spot because of queen takes c6. So bishop b7, bc4, bc4, queen c4, and now came the move knight to b4 by Richard Rapport, and Magnus has 39 minutes, Richard has 42, and we have a fresh position on the board, something totally new. Let's see what Magnus comes up with here, because you can't develop knight c3, there could be knight c2 idea. Oh, knight c2, there is queen a4 check. Okay, so a3, I think he wants to go to d5. That is his plan, and hit the bishop. Although black has like isolated pawns here, 2 isolated pawns, and white has only 1, black has activity. And I think if eventually he can get a successful c5, he should be able to equalize this game. So I have a feeling that this could end in a draw, but it's just 11 moves, so there's still some time. Okay, let's go to, by the way, after c6, there are no moves there in that game. Let's go to the game of Pragg and Shankland, which is a very good result for little Pragg, because he drew against Shankland with the black pieces pretty quickly. I remember that Shankland and Praggnanandhaa had a similar debate in the Najdorf at Tata Steel, if I'm not mistaken. And maybe they continued that here. So if we just see the moves, e4, c5, knight f3, knight c6. Oh, it was not the Najdorf. It was Sveshnikov only. They had played last time also. Knight e7, c4, knight g6, queen a4. By the way, here is a nice trap which I have shown in my opening trap series. C4 and a6. Why is this a blunder? Can anyone tell me why is this a mistake? Yes, Tata Steel Chess India. Yes. Amol Dhamale, chess is more than fun. Judajit Datta, Savita Chess, Samarth Gandhi, Iqbal Mustafa, Shivam Chaudhary, Deepesh. No, Deepesh, not 96. That is just free piece. But Queen A4 is the correct move. Well done, all of you. The main point is you can't take, your rook is hanging, and somehow you can't get away from this check. There is a double check threatened here, which is a mate. And if you play bishop d7, this is a very pretty checkmate. Keep in mind. So that is why Pragg played knight g6. Now if you play queen a4, which he did, then bishop d7 is okay. Now knight d6 check is met with bishop d6. The knight is not blocking the d6 pawn's defense. So queen b4, queen b8, h4, h5, bishop e2, a6, knight c3, bishop e7. So just to check how many of this is all theory, how much of this is theory. So if you look here, Pragg had 140, Shankland had 145 at this point, and till here we had 2 games already played in this position as per our ChessBase 16 and live database. It was Arjun Kalyan in India's Grandmaster versus Ivich, which is an important game, both Grandmasters at Riga Tech, and also Pasti versus Maxime Lagarde at Vargani Cup just a few days ago, 5th January. So G3, B5, CB, AB, Knight B5, castling, A4. So he gave up a pawn. F5, he gave up another pawn. This is, they are following Arjun Kalyan versus Ivich game. Bishop d8, everything same. This is the first new move. Queen b3, because in the game bishop d2 was played. Queen b3 was the first new move of the game. So if we see here, going through this, a4, f5, bishop h5, Shankland has 146, Pragg has 130. Queen b3 played at 147 already. Wow. Check, bd2, bishop d2, king d2, queen a7, queen e3, check, queen c3, queen b6, queen a3, queen. What a successful game for Praggnanandhaa actually, because he just didn't have to even break a sweat against his opponent. It was just, he just drew so easily, because here you can't take the piece, queen takes f2 would come, and then you are in big trouble. So here, wow. So actually a great game. And okay, let's go to one more interesting game of today, which is Anish Giri versus Fabiano Caruana. And actually this is amazing, this game, because Anish seems to have a big advantage after the opening. So I guess this is the first time that Anish and Fabiano are playing each other after he beat him at the candidates, correct? So he would definitely be looking for a revenge here. And so Fabiano, who is usually very well booked up, apologies for that, who is very well booked up generally, is playing something very non-theoretical with b3, bishop f5, bb2, e6. It could be inspired by Adiban, who beat Anish with this opening. g3, h6, bishop g2, knight f6, castles, bishop e7, d3, castles, knight bd2. So a very calm position in the nature of Reti, double fianchetto, very flexible. You can go c4 break, you can go e4 break, but Anish goes a5, and this is a very well-known idea. You know, this position, You want to create some play. So you go a5, he goes a3. Point is, if you go a4, I will go b4. Now Anish plays c6. Very interesting. Rook e1, preparing e4. So he goes bishop h7. Now e4 was played, knight b d7. One of the things which I think Anish is not afraid of is e5, because he will drop his knight back to e8 and it looks passive, but then he will go c5, b5, c4. He will try to play on this side and use his bishop down this diagonal. So queen e2, queen b6, a4, okay, rook fc8, and you can see that Caruana has 1 hour 41 minutes, Anish has 1 hour 5 minutes. Rook ac1, bishop c5, e5, knight went back, knight f1. Anish played his queen back, preparing now b5 break, knight e3, knight to c7, king h1. Already quite a dangerous move here, because it gives black advantage after b5. And you know, guys, this is very similar to what I was showing you yesterday in the game of Vidit versus Anish, where this structure is somehow in black's favor. Because if I take on a4, then after knight b6, this pawn would be weakened. Correct? So actually here, instead of king h1, he should have played c4, perhaps trying to reduce the power of b5 move. Because now after b5, if you were to take ab, then after cb, I can create a passer with a4. Oh, AD in the chat? Looks like Anish still hasn't learned his lesson. But AD, it seems like, good to see you, Adibar, after a long time. It seems like Anish has a good position. Caruana hasn't played really the best way. Also, I guess white should be trying to get some play on the king side here. But after knight d4, now Anish simply takes on a4. And the question is, after knight takes c6, why is this not a good position after, let's say, queen e8 and b takes a4? What is the problem here black to play? Can you find a good move for black? Who will play e5 with the bishop on b2? Oh, Adiban is saying that this move here, which is e4, e5, that Caruana played, is not a great idea. This is a disgrace to one b3 cowboy. Okay, got it, Adiban. Shouldn't be closing the position here, because this bishop gets really passive, hitting his own pawn. Yeah, let's have a look at what you guys are suggesting here. Yes, knight b6, fantastic job, guys. Knight b6 is the correct move. Chess is more than fun. Mahesh SA, science teacher, Raghav, Judajit, Prabhanjan, Techno World, Prathamesh, Parthiv, Suyash, fantastic. Yeah, sorry guys, I'm back here. It was just a very short lag. So knight b6 in this position, and after that the knight has to move knight d4 back, and after knight a4, this is already a very bad position. And b2 is hanging, and if you go bishop a1, then I can go bishop a3, hitting the rook. And if you go here, then I can play my bishop back. Knight c3 is a threat. This is hanging, and it is going to be horrible position for Caruana. So Anish Giri is definitely staring at his first victory in this tournament, and that too after just 19 moves against world number 4 Fabiano Caruana. That is something that he wouldn't expect. But you know, guys, when a lion is hunted, and it is cornered from all sides, it becomes the most dangerous, because it knows that its life is in danger and it will do anything to wriggle out. And this is where I feel that the hunter has to be extremely careful, because if he is even slightly careless, he can really lose his opportunity. So here Anish, although the engine gives him +2 here, it's not going to be easy to convert, and we will keep an eye on this game as to how Anish manages to play here. Okay, let's also look at Surya Ganguly versus uh, Surya Ganguly versus Arjun game, because they are playing in the challengers section. But going here back to Vidit's game, some moves had happened. After c6, rook c7, Vidit went queen h8, f5. Now he took, actually we were analyzing this, b4. Guys, this is getting interesting and exciting. So one question is, could he have taken this pawn? Actually he could have, right? He could have taken that pawn, but I think Duda plays b4 because he wants to create a passer here with b3. He wants to create somehow b3, ab3, a3. So if Vidit is not careful, let's just imagine, okay, that I play the move check, king e7. What do you do next? Say you give a check. I play king f8. Now you have no checks. So let's say you go queen h5, b3, check, king f7. You take, I play a3. Now you go queen a8. And I play rook a7. Now I want to push here. So you play queen b8. I play a2. Yeah, it can get nasty, this game. Now I'm threatening to queen. So if you queen and I also queen, that is game over. White is winning. This is mate. I mean, this is going to be mate here. So you can't play that. So a2 c7, you will have to take this. Queen c7, king g8. And somehow this pawn is going to be, you have to go and do this. And then when he queens, check, king, and draw. Okay, I'm not sure this is going to happen. Like, we analyze something like 15 moves, just, but it gives an idea that the position, if both sides are very ambitious, it can go all the way to making queens. If both sides are not ambitious, and let's say here Duda says, okay, I'll go to g8. By the way, going to g8 would be queen e8 check. Let's say he goes here. Then already the game can end in a draw here. So queen h5, maybe Duda can go king e7. But after Vidit goes queen h8, I think it a lot depends on what Duda has here. Because I have a feeling that Vidit here is satisfied with a draw, considering the fact that he has only 19 minutes on the clock. And Duda has been a tough opponent for him. So for him, maybe it's already, like, let's say king e7, queen h8, he's already okay. But if Duda is ambitious and goes queen f4 and then goes here, who knows, we might see something really like exciting with the king running up the board. Like, sorry, queen d8 check. This looks like very low chances, and this looks very risky for black as well. I mean, it's not like black, it's all roses for black's position, but So queen h5 has been played here. And let's see what Duda responds. Are we going to see ambitious Duda or are we going to see drawish Duda here? Let's see. Knowing the kind of player Duda is, I think he might risk it. But we'll see. Let's go to Arjun versus Surya Ganguly. This is the position on the board. And believe it or not, Arjun is winning. Wow. Arjun has right now 4.5 out of 5. And if he wins this, he will be 5.5 out of 6. And he's totally winning. But how easy it is to win this or to find the win. Can you find what white should play here? We'll go through the game, but can you find what white should play? I think with this win, Arjun will cross 2650 if he wins this. And 2650 means he would overtake in live rating two really amazing players of India, Adiban as well as Shakhriyar, which means that he would move to India number 6. I guess India number 6. Because we have Anand, Vidit, Hari Krishna. Number 4, I believe, is Narayanan. 5 is Nihal. 6 would then be Arjun. Oh, did he play bishop e2? Oh man, this guy is amazing. This guy is amazing. Look at this. You guys wanted to play bishop h6, correct? But bishop e2 is the correct move. Ayush Raj, Snehashish, Shaibi, Slightly, Priyansh, Aditya, Kriti, Siddharth, Chandra Kumar, Abhay Kumar, Swain. Now, why is such a move amazing? Let's just look at the options. You can't go here, you can't go here. Bishop will take it. You can go to e4 over here, but then after bishop h6 hitting this, and let's say you move your rook up, I go, let's say bishop d3, take, and king g2. This is already very much better for white because after queen g4, h4, h5, black king is in very, very good position. Right? So, this bishop e2 queen f5 might be another option, or queen f6. But every time there is this bishop h6, rook f7, and then something like f4. I don't know exactly what the points are, but the plan is that you play your bishop to, let's say if you go knight here, then I can take, okay, this is already bad because then you take here, I take here, and then check coming in on e8, so that doesn't work. But what to play is a question here. Let's say queen d6, just moving away. Now bishop g4. And somehow I get a feeling that it's revolving around this knight, which is outside the game. By the way, in the game of Vidit and Duda, wow, look at this. Duda has gone for this. Now again, we'll come back to Vidit Duda game. But just finishing this explanation here, after take, the main problem is that none of these pieces are for black are in good position. Rook e8 is coming, bishop e6 is coming. So the main idea for Arjun is rerouting the bishop from d3 to e2 to g4, pushing his pawn up after bishop h6. We'll look at this game in more depth. Going back to Vidit's game, after queen h5, king e7 was played, and Vidit instantly played queen h8. Now, if you were Duda, what would you do? One is king f7, accept a draw. The other one is to play queen f4, pinning this rook here. But you know, even if I do this, am I forced? Like, can I not go king g1? No, I think here. Oh, he went king f7. Yeah. So Vidit might give a check now. I don't think Vidit will play for a win here. So that would mean another draw, and Vidit might keep his lead still because Shakhriyar Mamedyarov drew with Grandelius Nils already. They only played 14 moves or 16 moves and they drew. And another leader was Rapport against Magnus. And if Magnus doesn't lose this, then it's good for Vidit in a way. But what do you think, guys? Draw? Do you think this will be a draw? Check, yeah. They drew already, or they are still thinking? Aha, draw. Everyone's saying draw. Why not rook takes g7 with it game? Where? Here? But then queen g7, no? Just take back. Samarth Gandhi says Vidit will continue queen f3. I don't think Samarth, because if you go queen f3, then after b3, pawn takes and a3, you're misplaced. And this is queening here. I don't think Vidit will take that chance. He's played king e7. So queen h8 for Vidit looks normal. But then I just have this very weird feeling that yesterday Duda... okay, he played king f7. Okay. No weird feelings here. Draw. So already 3 times has been done. Queen h5, king e7 once. Queen h5, king e7 twice, and queen h8, king e7. So draw has been agreed. Vidit Gujrathi draws his game. And if we look at the standings right now, then you will see that in this, Vidit has now, Mamedyarov also drew, so he is on 4. Vidit is also on 4 out of 6. Richard Rapport and Carlsen are playing. Esipenko is right now playing his game against... who is Esipenko's opponent? Dubov. Esipenko, and Dubov has a slightly better position. So maybe Esipenko does not reach to the top. Then we have Duda, who is on 3. Fabiano might lose. Jorden, I have to check. Anish might win. So actually Vidit will comfortably maintain his lead here with Shakhriyar, and maybe one more player can join, either Magnus or Rapport. I don't know, maybe Rapport wins against Magnus and then takes sole lead. That is possible, but well, not easy. But it's a great thing for Vidit that he is unbeaten in this tournament. And he is going step by step towards his gaining rating. He is already... today also he has drawn, so he got 0.6, 0.5 elo points. So he is moved to 2738.4. So if he does this slow and steadily in this event, he could reach close to 2750 here, which is Very, very amazing. And also, Anand, who is India number one, has 2751. So Vidit is right now 13 elo points away. So it's never easy to gain rating points, but Vidit is doing it really well in this event, playing slowly and steadily. But let's see, let's see. It's a long way. It's 6 rounds done. There are still 7 more rounds to be played. 13 round event. No, I'll tell you the situation at our place is the following. Uh, we did the RAT test, which is the at home you do the self test, and Amruta was positive COVID, and so she has to take rest. And then I did it, but it came negative. But anyway, we are at home, kind of quarantine together, and I also have some sore throat, blocked nose, tired feeling, all of that. So that's the reason. But watching these games and seeing them together with you is great fun. It is not it is a little bit of tiresome, but I enjoy it. So this is something that I make sure, and I sleep before it. So yeah, I'm not in the best of my health right now, but this is something that I want to not give up on. So let's go to. No, actually, today I'm feeling much better than yesterday. Yesterday was a little bit tougher than this. Anyway, so g6 bishop e2 is played, and now Surya is thinking. I just want to take you from the start. E4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop c4, bishop c5, c3, knight f6, d4. Okay, takes e5. This is common. You don't really take here because bishop b4 check is a move. Akshay SE says Mamedyarov is world number 5. Wow, amazing. E5, d5, bishop b5, knight e4, takes, bishop b6. This is a very common line, by the way, guys. This has been played in recently, has become very popular. I also remember Magnus and Anish Giri playing this against each other, and so many top games have happened. Aronian's favorite line also, this one. So just to check on our database also how much of it was preparation, because Surya is one of the guys who prepares the openings very well. He worked for Vishy Anand for several years, and Arjun is also very good at prep thanks to Srinath, who is his coach, who helps him and who is there with him. So when you have a dedicated trainer with you, that makes a huge difference. And it is very expensive, because imagine that a player like Srinath's caliber, who is such a coach, he's training, so he's spending 15 days of his time with you. It is quite expensive, but you can see the difference in the level of play, and that is something which is very good. Knight c3, castles, bishop e3. So just checking on our chess base board, this opening after bishop e3 has been played 1198 times, and here the main move is bishop g4, but Surya played f6 and he played it instantly, which is of course like after 5 minutes of thought, and Arjun took after 11 minutes. So already I don't think this game is heavy on prep. Knight takes c3, b takes c3, queen f6. This has been seen in good number of games. In fact, Mamedyarov, Asadli, a lot of Azerbaijani players are playing this, it seems. Okay, castles, bishop g4, you go back, he took, bishop takes. Okay, so still there are many games here. Rook a d8 and bishop e2. Funnily, this is a game between two Indians, Harshat S versus Ravi Teja, 2018. Okay, knight a5 by Surya, and this is where the new move came in. So going back to our board here, just to show you, after takes, queen f6, castles, bishop g4, bishop e2, take, rook a d8. Maybe knight e7 with the idea of c6 was a better move. Rook a d8, bishop e2, and knight a5. So guys, can you tell me few of the imbalances in this position? Who can tell me? Anirudh, 987 Reddy asks, how do they prepare so deeply? I would like to just give a good analogy here, which is that let's imagine that you want to understand what is the something related to, let's say, the political scenario in the world. Okay. Now, if you decide to suddenly, all of a sudden today, decide to study it, ki bhai, what is the political scenario, which country is a friend of which country, what is the situation, where are the tensions in between which countries are going on, you have to go back in time and you have to study each and every event. You can study on the surface and get an idea, but if you want to know every little thing, you have to go to every little detail. And this is what these top players have been doing, right? They have been trying to look at every game on a daily basis that happens at the top level and weave it into their understanding. That is how they are able to come up with new ideas, openings. So it's a continuous thing. It doesn't happen all of a sudden. Okay, so bishop pair, very good. Mihir Kuwat says isolated pawn, but where is the isolated pawn, Mihir? Divya says knight on the edge, but knight is coming to c4. c3 pawn is a backward pawn, correct? Pawn islands, very good, no name. Yash Raut says imbalance क्या होता है? Imbalance, you can check imbalance theory, and secondly, just in a very quick way, imbalance, what are the differences in the position? And you can look at it at different factors, minor pieces, pawn structure, material, space, ऐसे करके you should try to see what are the differences, and in that you will get ideas. I guess no one has said open B file. Pallavi says B6 bishop is sad, but Pallavi, C6 bishop, C7 bishop can get active from here. So light square weaknesses says bad boys, yes, possible. C4 square is a weakness. So in a way you can see that there are many imbalances. If I go to minor piece, white has bishop pair. If I go to pawn structure, black structure is better. 2 pawn islands as compared to 3 for white. Also c4 is a weak square. c3 is a backward pawn. If I look at space, it's kind of around even. If I see material, it's around even. It's equal. If I look at pawn majority, by the way, in pawn, here white has a majority. So actually, I think bishop pair is one of the most important things here. A4, C6 was played. I'm also wondering if here he would have just taken, yeah? He would have taken, and then A5 is just very powerful, trapping the bishop. So he can't do that. Mr. Great 1234 says, quick question on what you just said. So how many games per average does a top GM know by heart? And how do they know if they do memorize so many? I think they don't memorize it entirely move by move. So the opening they will remember because it's like a story, you know, it's like a continuing story. For you, it might seem random moves, but for them in their head, it is like c3 I played once, knight f6, I had played d4 as a youngster when I took back cd4 here. My opponent had given bishop b4 check. I don't like it. I'll play e5, but d5 is the main move. Once I had gone here bishop e2, but okay, this time I will go bishop b5, and then he went knight e4. I took here. There is a check here, but then I can play knight d2. So it's like a continuing story. So opening they can update. They don't need. It's like a base which is very strong, and they build on it. When the opening stage gets over, then maybe if there is a very nice moment to remember, then they will. Like for example, as I said, there was this game Polugevsky Tal. Then I remembered that the knight came here and there was bishop h7 sacrifice. So that moments you remember in your head. Of course, some players have better memory, so they can remember the moves and more games. Some have less memory, but it's like this, yeah. c6, bishop d3, bishop c7, queen g4, rook e8, okay, rook a e1, bishop d8. Okay, why did he play bishop d8? I don't understand why bishop d8. Maybe he wanted to go queen h4 with the bishop, but Arjun anyway stopped it. I think Surya got a bit carried away by wanting to exchange the queens. Because even if you take this position after, let's say, king g2, it's quite an irritating one for black. I mean, white looks pretty good. So maybe instead of bishop d8, he should have tried for something else. But his problem is that anytime he goes to get the knight into the game, it's not so simple. Bishop g5. I guess bishop d8 was also played against bishop g5 as a move. Queen h3, good move. This is a mate threat. So Surya played queen f5. Now Arjun went bishop g4, queen here, and bishop f4 was played. So Arjun is looking to put the bishop on e5. The other possible move was bishop d7 with rook e7 and then bishop f4. Maybe. Trying to, you know, remove the connection of both the rooks. But what if he had played bishop h6? Oh, sorry, can't do it because take and f2 is hanging. Yeah. So he has to play bishop f4. And now let's say I take. I was just thinking if I go g5. It's so bad, but you can't be bad because, okay, if I play bishop e5, there is this. Here there is a strong move. Can you find it? White to play. What is the idea of bishop f4? Agrib says. Agrib, the idea is to just put the bishop on e5. Very powerful bishop. Yeah, just Satishar, you're right. Samarth Gandhi, bishop e6 check. And if you go to g7 or h8, I have bishop e5, pinning your queen. If you go rook f7, I can take. And now there is no more threat here at so. Okay, another question is, can I go here, knight c4, try to stop bishop e5? It's possible, I guess. But check. King g7, there is bishop h8, bishop h6, and you lose an exchange. So you go king h8. But anyway, you're losing an exchange. Oof. Yeah, Safed bhi Kala bhi. Let's check Fabi versus Caruana, Fabi versus Anish game. Oh, this this is just going to lose an exchange, and yes, there will be some technical difficulty because the knight is now well placed and you will be giving up one of your bishops, but I think it should not be too difficult. So we'll keep an eye on this game here after bishop f4, but I think Arjun is well and truly on course for his 5th victory of the tournament. Amazing. Okay. Going to the game of Anish versus Fabi. So, as we mentioned, yeah, if there is a player who is like a top player like Fabiano who is under pressure, we saw till here, he took back, and now Anish played knight to b6. Okay. Well, also possible was knight a6. This was also a possibility, trying to get the knight here. Yeah, I will change the small board to maybe the game of should we go to this game? Yeah, let's put this. Oh, he's played h5. I've put it to Surya versus Arjun game. So knight b6 was played. Rook a1, knight a6, correct? So now, again, if you look at it, black has got all his pieces beautifully positioned. This is weak. Knight is coming here. There is possibility to take here with c5, c4 in the air. This bishop will get active. So just as an example, let's say you play f4 here. I could very well take. You can take. I can play c5, push you back, and then maybe even go for c4. Because then my bishop gets really activated here. And this could be one of the main ideas for black. So Fabiano played knight b3 and Anish now went back bishop e7. But here it could have been possible to fight for a tempo with bishop takes e3. fe3, here you don't lose time basically with this. And now c5 with the idea of c4, which we already had in mind. If he now takes on a5, then we could plan something like knight b4 followed by c4. So how should we do it? Maybe direct c4 or first knight b4. Then there is knight b7 and knight d6. Okay, so let's first stop it with queen e7 or queen d7. Trying to look here, also stopping this. And next idea is knight b4 followed by c4, right? When I will have a lot of play. 1, 2, this bishop looking here. While this bishop doesn't know what it's doing, this bishop is also hitting granite. So great position here. But Anish didn't go for it. He came back. f4. Queen d7. Now, what has just happened here is that Anish lost time with bishop e7 and Caruana wants to start creating play with f5. Once he gets f5, ef5, e6, there is a possibility to activate this bishop. Also, let's say if I do this c5, f4, just I mean, you have no time for all this stuff here with f4, f5. I'm just so fast. I am a bit surprised that Anish didn't take and play c5, c4. Now, by the way, taking here is bad. Why is this bad? Can anyone tell me? White to play, black to play, sorry. Yes, Abhiraj Ratna, well done. Mamba, your move is the most logical, but somehow not the best. Parak Agarwal, you're right. Bimal Patel, Siddharth Natu, Krishna Pandit. Yeah, the main thing is that it's between bishop b4 and knight c5. If you play bishop b4, the problem is knight b7. And once you move your queen, I'll go knight d6, hitting your rook. So even if you take here, I'll take here. So that's why again prophylaxis against knight b7. So knight c5, attacking the knight, defending knight b7, and once you move your knight away, then I take here with knight a4, and great position for black. So Fabi played f4, and now Anish played queen d7. Very surprising. Uh, he wanted to stop f5 perhaps, but Fabiano anyway played f5, and now Anish said, but this is a free pawn. So he took it, but now queen f3. So you see that white has managed to improve his position by playing f5. And if you now play g6 and you talk to this bishop on h7, it will be like, what are you doing, dude? Anish, why are you making my life miserable? Here, what should white play, according to you? White to move. White to move. Is there a cricket match today, guys? Yeah, Shaibi Binoj, Mahish S.A. Yeah, Karan Yogi, thank you for the nice message. He says, before this channel, I used to think chess is all about how far you can see, but now I can see more beautiful side of chess. It's about strategy, planning, and utilization of resources. Ah, India versus South Africa. Okay, got it. Got it. Yes, G4 is the move. And here it's already white is winning after this. You can see the king is weak, knight is coming here, e6 is in the air, bishop is a. Anish basically didn't make good use of his resources, of his imbalances in the position. He really took it a bit lightly here by bringing his bishop back, then thinking he has still time for queen d7. He should have by now tried to get, like here, if you play f5, then there is d4, or you can even play bishop e3 takes and bishop f5, and you are not able to break through. The main problem is that after f5 in the game, ef5, e6 becomes a constant threat with the activating of the bishop, and now suddenly these pieces start to look a little foolish on the queen side. No, I mean Prajwal says that you should call Anish for imbalance theory or something. Like I know it's in a lighter way, but I can tell you that top players also make these errors, not because they don't understand. It's because there is so many things happening there. So many things are at. Firstly, you don't expect to get such a great position against Fabiano after just 19 moves or 18 moves. Then when you are, it's like you're not thinking very clearly, and that is the difference between, I think, Magnus and other players. Magnus kind of, when he gets an advantage, he doesn't let it go, while other players still, like here Anish today has missed a big opportunity, I would say. Like now he might even lose this quite quickly, because the main thing is that he got such a nice position and it has turned around. It's very difficult to. Let's see. What about in that game after h5? Nothing much has been played, right, by Arjun. Just very quickly, if we can check that game between Arjun and Surya. So h5. So I was wondering if you go check, he wants to go king h7, so no bishop h6. That is one of his points. Can we go bishop d7? Let's say take, you take, I take, you play knight c4, rook e6, with g7. Interesting. Surya is fighting with h5 and not so easy to play as Arjun here. I mean, bishop e6 looks natural as a check, but after king h7, how do you continue? It's not so clear how to play. So Arjun might have to think bishop d7, rook e1, knight c4, rook e6, something on those lines. Okay, let's look at Magnus's game. See, now this is one thing I want you to look at. Okay, Magnus ne c4 pawn, we saw till here actually. We had seen till knight b4, a3, knight d5, bishop g5, castles, knight d2, he took on f6, rook c1, knight d7, queen a4, c5. He took on a7, bishop takes f3 was not the best. He should have played bishop d5. Black has compensation. He took bishop takes, cd, rook a2, queen e7, a4, and this is the position. Now, Arjun played bishop d7. Wow. It's amazing. Yeah, Arjun actually played bishop d7. It's a good move. Let's see how that goes. Now, a4. It will be interesting to see how Magnus Carlsen plays this. I think he'll convert this. His a pawn is just super strong. Okay, as black, I would want to play e5 with the idea of f5 and e4. Okay, here. What do you play as white here? White to move. Any suggestions here? Let's see. There's a saying in chess that a pinned piece must be attacked. Yeah, Ramakumar Teja Kalibarappu after rook e1, g5, maybe bishop e6 check is game over. Because if he goes on g7 or h8, bishop e5, pinning the queen. And if king h7, queen takes h5 is hanging. Yep, bishop g4 is the correct move. Let me see how many of you were able to get that. Amazing number of people. Rajarshi, Ryan, Prathamesh, Jacob, Atul, Omkar, Manav, Dream 11, Sairam, Ayush. Fantastic, guys. So bishop g4, a pinned piece must be attacked. And you're losing material. Rook a8, queen b7, rook b8, queen c6, rook b6, with c4. Eventually this piece will fall. a5 is, I'm pushing here as well. Okay, so a4, I think Magnus has amazing chances. So if Magnus manages to win, he will join as one of the leaders to Vidit and Mamedyarov. Rapport will then come down. By the way, in this game, rook e1 after bishop d7, he has taken. And one of the natural questions which was asked here, and also I was thinking about it, is g5. But I think bishop e6 is just very powerful, right? Because if king gets 7, I have queen takes h5. And if king g7, there is bishop e5. Also possible is rook e6 here. And if you play queen here, rook gets 6. And if you take here, what's the winning move for white here, guys? White to play and win. Let's say quickly, try to think. Yeah, so Sonava Chatterjee, can you explain what kind of rounds will be there in Grand Prix? I will explain. Maybe I'll make a separate video, but I'll also explain a bit today. Ivan Mukherjee, thank you so much for becoming booster of Indian chess. Yeah, fantastic. I'll read some names here. Hina Firdaus, Varun Sethi, Satyam Shegaonkar, Raunit Kamal, Sagnik Sengupta, Utpal, not Bishop G3. Mukta Parveen, Giridhar, Vedant Godbole, Advik, Pradeep Sudarshan, fantastic. So many guys. The move is bishop e6 and you lose the queen. So after rook e1, black is in some difficulty now. I think Surya will go knight c4 because he wants to improve his knight. He will bring it to the game. And this is the point where I'm not able to 100% understand how Arjun will play on. I mean, one idea is to go rook e6, queen f7. Oh, beautiful. Guys, time for you to think again. White to play. What do you do? Yeah, Rohit B. Now there are two Indians in the FIDE Grand Prix, guys. Hari Krishna has got a chance because Wei has withdrawn at the last moment. So that means that Hari Krishna and Vidit both are in the FIDE Grand Prix. If they are anyone is able to finish it top 2 in that 3 events, that they will play 2 but totally 3 events, then they can reach candidates. So from one Indian, we have now 2 Indians fighting. Yeah, I think majority of you want to play bishop h6, which looks nice. But you are forgetting about queen f2 here. So look at this. So many people wanted to play bishop h6, but after queen f2, I think you can just resign. King h1, queen f3. It's really bad. So the right move here, and which has been suggested by Jacob Grave, crazy chess lover, Rajarshi Datta, Nitin Kumar, Paras Bhoir, and Hina Firdaus. Fantastic job. The move here is actually rook takes c6. And you might think, what is happening here? It's a clearance sacrifice. You are clearing the e6 square for your bishop, and now you pin it and you win the queen. So that's how you find tactics, right? By the way, in the game, some moves have been played. Surya didn't go knight c4. He played king h7 in this position. Now, once he plays king h7 here, Arjun has to decide how to continue this position. So now rook e6. So first things first, queen f5 is a massive blunder. Why? Very quickly, let's just get it out of the way. Yes, Dinesh Jorar, I will explain what is Grand Prix system. I'll do it in this stream. Oh, he did play rook e6. Wow, Shweta, that's amazing. Rook e6 has been played. And yes, rook e7. Absolutely right. Satyam Kumar, Sahil, Samvid Kane, Himesh Jain, Baba V. Abhi, Rohit Wadhwani, Ryan Jain, Arjun Balamurli, Kavya Gajera. Fantastic. Rook e7 and you win the queen here. So you have to go back to f7. Now once you go back here, Arjun has to find kind of the only move in this position. By the way, after rook e6, queen f7 is forced. There's no other place to go. If you go to g7, okay, there's one more g7. So let's do it step by step. Let's first look at queen g7. What do you do in this position? White to play. White to play and finish your opponent off. Let's see how many of you can get it. Come on. Guys, this is all about calculation. Come on. Can you play it like Arjun? Yes, bishop e5 looks good, like you all say. But the problem with bishop e5 is that firstly, I have bishop f6. And I like my position as black then. I mean, it's improved a bit. So what are the other suggestions? Bishop e8 is the second main move. Fantastic. Samdeep Dahal, Hina Firdaus, Rama Kumara, Teja Kalivarappu, Charu Vijayshekara, Vignesh, Bhavish Radhan, Pushkar Dere, Jacob Grave, Chaitanya Awadh, and Ashutosh Joshi. Well done, guys. So the move here, which is very good, is bishop e8. So bishop e5 many wanted to play, but then I mean bishop f6 is one move I suggested, but queen d7 is also hanging, so that doesn't work. But bishop e8, how do you defend at this now? It's very tough, because now if you play bishop f6 here, then I can play bishop d6, hitting your rook, forcing the rook to move, and now bishop e5, forcing him to move again. If you take here, I will first take bishop g6, and you will have to give up your queen. And if you play rook f8, then here there are many ways to continue, but maybe a nice way is g4. I want to take, and maybe just move the king, and this is very weak now. h5 pawn. So Queen g7 is met with bishop e8. So queen f7 is the other move. And here now your next question is, what should white do in this position? Not easy. What should white do? So now rook takes c6 is not going to work. G4, but now bishop is hanging, no, on d7. Lakshesh Gupta, fantastic. Who else? Yeah, we'll see Carlsen's game next. You have to see everything. No, rook g6, how is that working? Just a second, guys. Just trying to